what's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation expert, money mindset and fulfillment coach, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur. Come sit with me while I spill the real tea on what it's like to practice using intentional manifestation, demystify all of the woo-woo and confusing bullshit that comes along with creating the life of your dreams, and give you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. The goal of this podcast is to support and guide you towards manifesting all of your dreams, shed light on the things that people are too scared to talk about, and encourage you to become the person who gets to have it all, be it all, and do it all. I am so happy you are here. Let's fucking do this thing. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. Today, we have my lovely friend and past client, Miss Melissa Long, on the podcast to share about her experience inside of the Abundant AFB Academy. And before we dive into this interview with Melissa, I also just want to give you all the reminder that there is literally only 1 week left to join the Abundant AFB Academy. And once doors close for the Academy, you will not be able to join until well into 2023. So like, if you've been on the fence, I know I've been saying it on these podcast episodes, but now is the time to do so. And also be sure to get in on the Black Friday deal that I am doing, where you can get 10% off of your investment in the Academy. All you have to do to get the coupon for that is to message me on Instagram, sending me a message saying Black Friday, and I will send you the discount code so that you can get 10% off of your investment. The link to find me on Instagram is down below in the show notes. But with all of that being said, I'm so excited to have Melissa here. So Melissa, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. And let me start by saying, really, honestly, if you are on the fence, like this is your push to just hop on, because it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. It's life-changing, honestly. So that's my little note that I'll add to all of that. But yes.
Amazing. Yay. Cool. Let's dive into this. So let's kick this off with share with everybody where you were at prior to joining the Abundant AFB Academy, and like, what was your initial pull to join in the first place?
So prior, that was probably like a year and a half ago, maybe. Yeah, it was like a year and a half ago.
I think it was like spring of 2021, right?
Yeah, it was, which is wild. But prior, I was like, Alex and I, my husband Alex and I and our family, we're just living our normal lives and thinking that like, oh yeah, this is great. Okay, chugging along here, whatever. But still knowing that like, okay, there might be more. And Alex started a business. And so we were kind of like trying to figure out some stuff with that. And a lot of people being like, comparing ourselves to a lot of people, especially being on social media, you're just like comparing yourself to Joe Schmo that makes it look so easy. And you're like, okay, this is not easy. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But still being like, for the most part, content. Alex hasn't loved his job, but it's been comfortable. So we've always been like, okay, like they treat him very well. Like it's really great. It's just not as fulfilling as like he would like it to be, but we've been like, okay, this is really great. This is just the season of our life. We kind of like went through that all the time. And then kind of just like, I guess, scrolling through TikTok and stumbled upon you and some other people. And I was like, what is this? Like people that were just genuinely happy that you could tell wasn't fake, and like getting everything that they desired and being like, yeah, I'm so worthy of this. And then I was over here like, what the hell? Wow. Okay. People can do that. But so it started out as me even contacting you just because, so typically, well, for the most part, I stay home with the kids. Like I work minimal hours, but I pretty much stay home. So we're living off of Alex's income. And so I was like, okay, great. Like we're going to be abundant at that point, which is so wild. in my head, abundance only meant money. And like wealth, being wealthy was having a big bank account. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll just contact her. She's opening up this like program. Yeah, great, whatever. We'll see if I can really be that abundant. And then I was like, okay, Alex, I think that I can do this. I like obviously did some good stalking on all of your social medias and like other people that like have the same message kind of. And I was like, okay, but I felt like good vibe. Well, that's weird because that's the thing on the quote right there. But I just felt like, okay, I trusted you because you seemed like really genuine to me. And some of the people on TikTok, it's a little flighty sometimes. But like I was like, okay, so I dove in and got it and then started it and then realized like, what the fuck? This is wild. This like, I don't know. I don't want to jump ahead. So I don't want to jump ahead. So I'll just leave it at saying that Alex and I, in the last year and a half, have realized that we were living so small and we didn't even know it. We thought like, wow, we are living so, like, look at this nice, big, lavish life, which we do. Like, we are very, very, very blessed. But like, we just thought about like the money aspect and not feeling like we had as much money as we wanted to have. And now we're like into this ginormously big thing where like we sit in bed and have conversations about like this, like the inner work that we're doing, which is so weird because if you would have said to me a year and a half ago, like, yeah, I'm working on my inner child and doing some shadow work, I'd be like, you're woo woo. Okay. But like, no, it's wild. And it's so wildly healing that we didn't even know that we needed to be healed. And now we're like here and healing and I don't know. So yeah, that's where we were. And now we're in a completely different place, a completely different headspace.
Totally. It's crazy because it really is. That's like one of the biggest conditionings that I feel as though, especially like American society gives us, is that like abundance means money, wealth means money. And we're kind of like fed this lie that if you have money, then all of your problems will go away. When in reality, it's like money just amplifies what's on the inside. And now that you and Alex have both like really been diving into the inner work, it's created a completely different dynamic and like relationship with yourself and the way that like money feels in your life because of it, which is so, so powerful. So let me ask you, like, what was your biggest doubt coming into the Abundant AF Babe Academy? And like, what was your biggest doubt about me as a coach?
I think that something that was very hard for me to get on board with and something that I still struggle with is like money is energy. Everything is energy. I am more of like a I don't know if like scientific is the word, but like I would look towards like scientific evidence, which is there. Like quantum physics is there, but it's so wildly hard to understand sometimes because there's not that many people that are like dumbing it down, so to say, for me to understand what it is. So I think that the hardest part to get on board with was like, everything is energy. You're creating all of this. And then I was like, okay, whatever. But then when we started, like when you start small, and then I saw the things happening, starting small, I was like, oh my God, wow. Am I becoming that? Oh, I might be becoming woo woo. And like not even wanting to, like, how long did it take me? Probably like a year, remember? I was like, well, I don't want to tell anybody I'm doing this. And then you're like, okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. And I'm just over here like, oh, I'm just going to manifest all this stuff. And then finally I was like, okay, fine. This is what I'm doing. And still a lot of people make fun of me for it. A lot of people, a lot of my friends, a lot of just like people in general that know make fun of me. And I think that that was hard for me. And hard for me, like that was something that was hard for me to get past because and just be like, fuck you guys, which is where like we've gotten to a point. I mean, I always like have regressions, right? But like for the most part, like, okay, whatever, it's not your life. But I think that that was the hardest part to get on board with was just being like, okay, this is backed by science. It is like, it is real and we can see it all happening. But when you don't see it for yourself and you're just having someone tell you like, oh yeah, I can manifest this. Look what I manifested. Oh, look, then you're just like, okay, I think you might be full of crap. But something that I don't know what it was. We'll call it the universe. That was just like, okay, you should do this with Kat. Because there's a lot of people out there that are like, that sell programs and have kind of whatever. And none of them gave me the complete like calmness and like, okay, I need to do this. Then you. And I don't know why, like I didn't know you. I just randomly found you. It wasn't like I was like a follower for a very long time and stuff like that. It was just like something giving me the push. It was like, okay, just do it. Just do it. And I did.
Yep.
Okay.
I love it. I remember our first conversation where you're like, I think I found you like last week and your videos were really speaking to me. And like, I don't really like know any of this stuff or believe in any of this stuff, but like for some reason, I feel like I'm supposed to trust you.
And I
was like,
did.
let's fucking go, girl.
Isn't that wild? And look at this. Okay. So I did it. And now here we are a year and a half later. And Alex does like, okay, yeah, Alex does all this stuff. Like I brought him on board. He's met with you like multiple times. Like he's worked with you. And now we're just over here like, oh, Kat. Oh, yeah, Kat. Like what? And I just randomly was like, hey, Alex, you have to trust me on this one. But I think I have to do this in this. It's got to be with this girl, this program. And he was like, okay, I don't understand, but yeah.
Totally. There's so much power in that because I know that so many of the women who are listening, they have a hard time or their partners give them a hard time for coming on board and choosing to go on an intentional manifestation journey. And I think that your story with Alex and what has come of it is the fact that like both of you are a little skeptical at the beginning, but then both of you choosing to go on this journey, you giving this gift to yourself, then also became a gift to him and now to your kids and your family and the impact that you guys are making. And it's like the two of you are now on board together with it, creating all of the changes that you're wanting to see in your life. And it's just like such a testament to what is possible, not only in your life, but also in your relationship and your family when you choose to take that leap of faith and like follow your intuition, even though it didn't make logical or practical sense during that time.
Absolutely. And it's like, it has just overflowed into so many different areas of our lives. Like we didn't meditate before. And now I'll be like, okay, Alex, like you got the kids, I'm going to go meditate for 15 minutes. And like, or he does it. And it's just like, oh yeah, I mean, I feel a little bit off today. I think I'm going to go meditate. And we both just understand that we need that. We never knew we needed it. And it's like, when I was doing like a lot of reflecting and like at the beginning of ABA, and I was like, okay, I didn't realize how much things that my parents said to me influenced everything about how I feel about money. I didn't even think about that. And so then it started on this journey with Alex and I of like, okay, well, our kids are little. And so what can we do now to make them feel like they can have anything that they want, basically? Yep. And like Alex will do affirmations with the boys before bed every night. And like, we're very much aware of our language and the language that we're using with them. And prior to this, like it's cringeworthy. The things that we're like, oh gosh, remember when we said that? So like our oldest, before we even knew any of this, like, oh my gosh, I hope he didn't remember that part. But like, obviously they're little, the oldest is 5. So like, it's going to take like a hot minute to kind of even out, because right now they're at the point that they think that they can buy anything. And we're not stopping it. Like they're just like, the oldest will be like, well, I can buy anything that I want. And I was like, yeah, you can have anything that you want. And then, but they totally are just like, yeah, we can have that. We can have. God, I love it. Me and Alex are just like, yeah, I'm not stopping it. Like you're 5, you can go ahead, believe that. Like, I want you to believe that. And then, we'll fine tune it when they get a little bit older and realize that some things have to wait or like prioritize and stuff like that and whatever. But that's a lesson for a different day. Right now, we're just like giving them all of the, yeah, definitely do whatever you want, be whatever you want. just even like how, like, just being who they are,
Yeah.
like, is what we're trying to instill in them, which Alex and I didn't realize until I started ABA. That was like just little things that people said growing up here and there that were just like very limiting.
Yeah.
Very like, oh, like you have to go to college. Oh, or just even saying like, where are you going to college? Oh, what are you doing with like stuff like that? And it's just very, I don't know, and we do the finance part of it, right? So like we see people just going to college just to get a degree and realizing like, damn, we didn't even have to do that. Like, why? We didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And so making sure that our kids know like you don't have to do all that stuff. It doesn't matter what people are saying to you. Like, I'm not sure if it is as much as it used to be, but especially where I went to school, was like kind of frowned upon to be um going into theater or going to school for the arts or something, or English. Like I remember one of my friends was like, oh yeah, I want to go to school for English, and everyone was like, what are you going to do with that degree? What are you going to be, a teacher? Or and she was like, I think I'm going to be a writer. How are you going to make money? And all this stuff that is stuck into our brains that we're just like, oh gosh, yeah, we definitely can't do that. Like there's no way.
Yeah.
And not even realizing that from a young age we're fed all of this stuff. And that is what one of like the big things in ABA that I was just like, it was mind blowing because this stuff is locked away in my brain and I've never gone back to reach that part of my brain to know how much this has influenced really every aspect of my adult life.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's wild how we're not taught any of this and how unaware um like past generations have been to the way that we've made this impact on every single person's subconscious mind. And it's so beautiful that like ABA brought you to the position of like the awareness of the fact that this was happening so that you could break that pattern for your kids. And I always say like majority of the women that I work with are moms. And I love that like y'all are, because it's not only the greatest gift for you, but it's also the greatest gift for your family, because you are helping break those generational curses and like completely shift the way in which things will play out for like the family lineage moving forward. So I know that you said that that was like one of the biggest and like most mind-blowing things that you experience in ABA. What would you say is like one of the other biggest takeaways that you had from the academy?
um I think it was like, I want to say like finding myself ish, but that sounds like a little bit cliche. But I want to say like even deeper than that, like realizing that I am worthy,
Mm-hmm.
or like my self-worth, and just being like, um it kind of like snowballed into a bunch of like me realizing that, like that one thing that I sent you that was like, it's a privilege to know me.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to ABA, I would have literally been looking at that like, girl, you are crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. But like now getting to a point of being like much more independent, I think, even like from Alex. Um, and which is like a good thing. Like, yeah, I love him very, very much, obviously, but just being like, oh, I am my own person and I can stand up. Remember, like, okay, this is it. My biggest takeaway is that I have the confidence in myself to stand up for myself.
Mm.
I have a confidence that in myself that I've never had before. That is, it's wild to me. And there has been someone that was like, treating me not the greatest. And I was like, okay. And finally I was like, oh, wait, I'm not going to take this. And I like talked to you about it prior, like, okay, I think I can do this. I got my eyebrows done before I went. And by the way, everyone at work does eyebrow energy now. I feel like
Love
I'm
it.
spreading a trend. They're like, oh, I'm getting my eyebrows done. Got a big meeting, getting my eyebrows done. Like, okay, yes, guys. So, but I went in and just like was calm, collected, and stood up for myself. And on like many occasions, there was a time that I was frustrated with my dad, and I've never in my life stood up to my dad, and it was like very hard to do. And I'm not going to say that I didn't like get back in my car and like bawl my eyes out, but like in the moment I did. And then I was like, oh my God, I fucking did that. Like, so it was so freeing. Just, and I know where I am, and I know who I am, and I know what I'm going to take and what I'm not going to take, and what I need to do, what actions I need to take if there's something that I'm not going to stand for.
Yeah.
So like, even if that means like, you know, that it's been a struggle for me for a very long time with like my group of friends. And so I just like started telling them less. I didn't cut them out. It's not, there's no hatred or anything like that, but I'm giving more than they're giving. And I feel like it takes a lot from me, but I know who I am now. And so now it's just like, oh yeah, I'm not being rude. I'm just not telling you everything that's happening in my life because you're not one of the people that I want to know everything anymore. Or I felt obligated before, and now I'm just like, oh no, that's not who I am. I just have like, oh, it's a weird confidence in myself. Like, I didn't know that I knew that I needed to be more confident, or like that I could grow in that aspect of my life, but I didn't know that I could do it this fast, and B, that like it feels so good. Like just lighter. It's not even like, oh yeah, I'm awesome. No, it's just like peace. And that is like a huge takeaway, is like the confidence that I gained, and then the peace that came along with it.
So fucking powerful, and like so just like proud of you, as you know, of like how much you have been able to like shift throughout this journey. And context for everybody who's listening who's unaware of what eyebrow energy is. Melissa showed up to an ABA coaching call with her eyebrows done, and she was like, I am on fucking fire today. Like, I am on top of the world. And so she channeled her eyebrow energy in the moments where she didn't have her eyebrows done. But then when she'd go get her eyebrows done, holy shit, that eyebrow energy was back. And like, I'm sure any of the ladies who are listening can like really like agree with that, and know that when you get your eyebrows done, you definitely feel like the highest version of yourself. But I wanted to give some context on that, because you've been able to like cultivate eyebrow energy now with or without the eyebrows being done. And so now when they get done, I can only imagine how that confidence radiates.
Bad bitch energy. I said to Alex, I was like, oh yeah, you know, eyebrow energy's back because I got my eyebrows done. And he was like, you know, like you could just keep your eyebrows done, and then you could just be a bad bitch all the time. And I was like, yeah, I could. But I don't know. It just feels, there's something about it that I'm just like, you know, like putting on your best outfit and being like, man, I'm fucking awesome today. And just feeling great. It's your eyebrows. So
Totally.
Also, if you need to, this is your calling, get your eyebrows done.
Yeah.
Spread the bad bitch energy.
Little did you know you were listening to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show today to get the message to go get your eyebrows done so you could feel like the highest version of yourself. But here we are. Okay, speaking of bad bitch energy, like brag on yourself and tell us some of the things that you've manifested since joining ABA.
Okay, so first, actually, now that I don't think anybody knows that I do this, but I started in 2021 just like putting a note in my phone when I manifested something. So first I'll say I did the $5, which is like the first thing, because you're just like a little baby. And it was the next day I went to the store, and that guy was like, I was wigging out. That guy was like, here, have $5 to buy your kid some ice cream or something. And I was like, oh no, I have money right here. He's like, no, here's $5. And I was like, really, it's fine. And he's like, take the $5. And I was like, I'll take the $5. And I was like, whoa, this is it. Okay. But anyway, so I have a whole list that started in 2021. And that was like when 2021 is shorter, obviously, than 2022, because it just keeps like happening. So, okay. In 2021, after I started ABA. Just like random things like tickets to like front row tickets to a sports game, to multiple sports games, or like really nice seats. We got like an upgrade in our hotel in Cancun. Well, the Cancun trip was free. Then we got an upgrade, and then we got stuck in Miami for 3 more days for free. So we were like, and everything was free. $10,000 after someone passed away, but they passed away a while ago, and randomly it was like, here, we think you should have $10,000. Okay. So then this year, well, I mean, oh, now we're making money. We have a family plan, and my brother's on it. Well, like all of us are on it, but he like finagled something because he's in the military, and we're all on this family plan for our phones. So we make money off of our phones every month, which is the most wild thing, because who does that ever happen to? I don't know, but we make money. I manifested this little babe that's in my belly. That's probably a big manifestation, and that came with some hiccups, but like, and you already know the hiccups, but like a healthy baby, that's a huge one, which will be here very soon. Like just little things, $40 in Kroger's parking lot because I helped some guy with changing his oil. And it's like when you said like, okay, when you give, and then like the universe is going to come back tenfold. This guy was like sitting there trying to put oil in his car, but he had a walker and couldn't even get in to get the oil, and he was like very old and whatever. I was like, I'm just gonna run in and get the oil. We'll take this money. Like, no, I don't care. It's $10. I'm gonna go get the oil. I spent $10 on this guy's oil, and his wife came out eventually. We were just all standing there, and he paid me $40. Like, take this, and I was just like, no, really, I don't need. And he's like, I will be very mad if you don't take, like old people are, if you don't take this, I'm going to be really mad at you. I was like, okay, you're getting mad. So, but like $40. And all I did was like take time and help him. He looked like he needed help. And then I went in and bought him $10 worth of oil, and I walked back out and put it in his car for him. And he paid me $40. Like it's just weird how once you're in the vibration of giving, how much you're receiving back. This list is funny because some of the things are so small. Like we got the close-up parking in the shade at the zoo, which we never get, and it was really, really hot that day, but like, oh yeah, I just was like, okay, we're gonna get a good parking spot, and we totally did. So like small things that I'm writing down just to realize like, hey, that things are happening for you that otherwise I would have just like passed up. We got more than half off of Camden's tuition for private school, which was huge, and didn't think that we were going to even qualify for anything. Just like bought stuff from Amazon, and then it showed up in like 3-packs, and there's no like just things here and there that like save $100 here and there. But A, it all adds up, and B, it just like is proof that the universe is working. But just a lot of, I would say, smaller things, but then really big things like the $10,000. And like I have my like job with teaching the preschool is like income and whatever, and that was like iffy if I wanted to take that. But then they just started, when I started teaching, they were like, yeah, since you have kids that come here, how about we just give them half off anyway? And they've never done that in the 50 years that they've been there. So many people's kids have gone through there, and they've been teachers or aides or something like that. And they just decided when I started 2 years ago, like, oh, we're just going to do half off. So now I'm getting paid, but I also get half off every month, just like things here and there. But probably the money and the baby and the trips.
Yep, absolutely. You would always show up to the call with like some fun manifestation, like literally every single week. And I was like, okay, girl, like going from
like, if you see it, if you're open to seeing it as a manifestation, instead of and being like, oh yeah, I'm creating that, instead of just being like, okay, I found $5. Like that means nothing. No, you're like, wow, look at this. I got $5 and now I can go buy that coffee that I wanted or something that I was not going to buy before. So once you start seeing things as like a reaction to how high your vibes are, then things just start flowing in more.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, no, you're such a testament to that as well. And so another question for you is like, what would you say about me as a coach?
Okay. So first we'll say that I've never, okay, because I've had other coaches, right? And we had like a vision board of like our identity, who we wanted to become and whatever. Both Alex and I have your face on our vision board of like, okay, this is the vibe and just like the trustworthiness. But for the most part, literally, we talk about it all the time. It's how it's like there's no judgment ever. Like I could literally be like, oh my gosh, Kat, I just threw away all my money gambling. And you would be like, okay, so let's talk about it. But it's never shame. There's no shame. There's no judgment. Like you could be in the worst of worst positions and be like, what the fuck did I do to myself and to my life? And you come on an ABA call and you leave the ABA call like, okay, I'm fucking fire. We're coming back from this. Like just the positivity, but like never feeling like I'm being judged for anything. And it's weird that you like, as silly as this sounds, it was like, okay, yeah, oh my coach Kat, oh my coach. Like I would like tell my mom, well, you know that one coach Kat. I called you a life coach, by the way, when I didn't want to tell anybody what manifestation was. I was like, yeah, you know my coach Kat. And then they'd be like, yeah. And now I'm like, oh, you know my friend Kat. And my mom would be like, oh yeah, Kat in New York. Yeah, like now it changed, it like just shifted to be like, oh hey, that's my friend Kat. But that I will say, and like add in a piece, just if you're like on the fence, because having kids is hard, and trying to do this with having kids is hard. But I will say that on our coaching calls, it's a relief that my kids can be in my lap or can be screaming and I can be like, yeah, okay, hang on, I'll come back later. Or like that the other moms on there have their kids, and no, there's no judgment from anyone because there's so many moms that we're all just like, oh, hey girl, feel you on that one. Like kids being a little bit crazy today, but that the space that you have for us, in general, but also like on the calls, is that we're not bothering you. Like I felt with some of our other coaching, like I was like we were being like bothersome to them. If we like weren't up to where everyone else was or like what we needed to do. And some people that have gone through your class have been like, I mean, killing it in so many aspects. Like I think we're all killing it in certain aspects, and like, but like some people are so wildly successful that you're just like, holy cow. And being in the like the calls with them, but not ever feeling like I didn't belong. More so feeling like, oh, I'm gonna be that person. Oh, you're already done, or you're already on this week. Okay, I'm about to be that person too. And just how you build everyone up and make like I have literally never left a call and felt like shit. Never. Like how many calls have I got on? I'm gonna be like, Alex, I have Kat today, but I'm just so tired. He'd be like, just get on the call. Like, I'm in a bad mood. Just get on the call. And then I leave the call like, okay, yeah, so I'm good. Just because the energy of the calls, the energy that's brought in by you and by the other girls that we're with is just like a little like community of trust and like peace. I know I said that before, but like it just is where we in like camaraderie, where we can just be like, yeah, I feel you on that. And a lot of, and just you bringing up points that help us to know what we're feeling. Sometimes it's really hard to put, at least for me, to put like why I'm feeling certain ways. And then you can direct my brain and direct my thought process into really grasping what I'm feeling and what I can do to feel that feeling and then release it, which I think is a huge, huge, huge thing, because it's the struggle bus a little bit to be in a spot and feel like shit and not know 100% why you feel like shit, but just be like, this is just bothering me. And we would just throw something out there. And then you're like, okay, so here's some questions. And then getting to the root problem and being like, oh, thank God, now I know what I need to do to feel better.
Yep.
And always leaving a call like, okay, I can do this. Like, we're definitely going to do this.
I love that. Yeah. That's like, first of all, thank you for all of those beautiful words, because they mean the world to me. And it's like, it's like one of the things that I'm so adamant about and like believe so strongly in my coaching. And like the reason I do this in the first place is not so that you have to depend on a coach for the rest of your life to help you through these things. It's so that you can identify them inside of yourself and like be able to work through them in the future, so that you don't have to like feel as though you have to lean on anybody except for yourself. And just like you said, build that level of confidence and trust in yourself that you can, even when you are feeling low, even when life does throw you these like curveballs, really root down into like, okay, what am I experiencing? And like, how can I move forward from this place? So I love that. And last question I have for you, I know you said for moms who are on the fence, but for anybody who is on the fence about joining ABA, what would you tell them?
It's scary. Okay, it's scary, especially when you're at the place where you're watching your videos and your stories and all of this, and then you're like, okay, I'm trying to get a coach to tell me how I can be abundant in my life, which you most likely are thinking right now that abundance is only money, which is fine, because with every tool that you're given, the money comes with it. Like, the money comes with all of that stuff, with all of the inner work and everything like that. But like, it's scary to be like, I can't believe I'm going to spend money for someone to tell me how to make money by using my brain. And then it's just like, I must be crazy. And then you wait for so long to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I am crazy. But you're not crazy. Like, it's very, the transformation in my life, in Alex's life, in my family's life in the last year and a half is wild. It was worth tenfold what I paid to be in ABA. There's people that I like, my group of friends that have never heard of this, that I just like give out little like, oh, look for this sign. And then people are texting me like, oh my gosh, I just like, I thought you're crazy. Yeah, well, I thought I was crazy too. But like, it totally works, and it's really scary. And you're like, I am not, what if she's a flop? And what if she's fake? And what if I'm paying this money for fucking shit? And then I am at a place where I don't have any money and I'm not making any money. And look where I am, I'm worse than when I started. Because that's always, I think, something in a limiting belief that like pops up in a hesitation, but just like, I'm not even like saying it to be like, oh yeah, this is really great. I'm really telling you the fucking truth that I started it, and a year and a half later, my life is wildly different. And that it's been absolutely by far the best investment in myself that I've ever made, and has led me to know that I'm worthy of making other investments in myself, and I'm worthy of so much more. And like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that it's easy, because there's a lot of parts in ABA that are like, that are hard, and you have to come to a lot of truths within yourself. And like, even Alex and I will talk about like, man, a year and a half ago when we thought that like we were like living so comfortably and it was so great, like sometimes we wish like, man, I wish I was just back there. I wish I was just watching TV on a Saturday night instead of journaling and doing inner work. Like, why are we not there? That was so much easier, because it was easier. But now we've up leveled so much that, like, Alex would tell you that Alex could come on this podcast and tell you how worth it is for you to be on board with it, by the change that he's seen in me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he will just look at me like, oh my God, you never acted like that. Because I was never confident like that. Like, I would always feel like shame, and even being like, hey, I think I look really pretty today. No, now it's just like, man, I look fucking great today. And I truly believe it, because the tools that I've been given from ABA are just like, if you're on the fence, it's not just about money. Like, what I've gained from ABA is it's wild. How my mind has transformed, how my life has transformed, just like our mindset, and knowing like, oh my God, we can up level so much more. We can have so much more. And it's not always about the money. Like, it's not like we're up leveling in places that aren't even related to money. And it all starts with like just that little simple push to go for ABA, which is scary. It is. It's really scary to hire a coach that you don't, and a coach online. Like, I've never seen you in person, right? Like, we're friends, I know you, but like, I've never seen you in person. And so there's another aspect of that that's kind of like, okay, is this true? Like, what I'm seeing, is this true? No, it's true. Like, it really is true that your life will transform. I don't know.
Yes.
It really will.
It has.
It totally has. I'm telling you, it's just so crazy. Like, I love every minute of it. No, I don't actually. Some parts are really harder, just like, why do we do this to ourselves? But then, like, on the other side of that is just like so much bigger and better that we didn't even know that we could have. We just have to like get over the gross feeling, because like parts of ABA will make you feel gross, or like just a little bit, oh, I don't want to dig into that part of like, where do I need to be? Where do I need to forgive? Where do I like, I don't want to, like, my feelings, but then everything just transpires from that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's really wild. And just the community that ABA brings you is another aspect. Like, you're great, Kat. You are great. But like the people, and you have your Facebook group, and people will like drop in like messages of things that they have manifested, or like little just like notes of encouragement, and just the camaraderie of being like, hey, been there, done that. Like, oh, you're on week 1. Well, that part sucks. But once you get to this part, like, you can do it, whatever. And just cheering for each other is another aspect of ABA that is just like, it's worth the jump to take it, because you meet people that are like-minded, that are going for the same goal as you. We're all just trying to heal, and not even knowing how much we need to heal, but like, we're all here for the same reason. So it's comforting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good. I'm telling you guys, it's good. It's so good.
I know, you're my biggest hype woman.
I know.
I don't need to sell the academy. I just need Melissa.
I'm telling you, I can be your biggest hype woman because I've seen it, because I have evidence of it. I'm telling you, it's fucking crazy. And Alex would like come right up here and be like, yeah, you guys, this is why. He hasn't even done ABA. Okay. But he knows, he's seen it through me. And then I come down and I'm like, whoa, okay, you should do this shadow work journal entry. And he's like, what? And then he does it and he's like, wow, I just figured out stuff about myself that I didn't even know. Yeah, I know. Okay. That's all we're doing here. We didn't even know that we needed to be healed as much as we do. And now, once like you start healing, then you're just like, it's addicting. Like, you want more. Oh, I want to be fully healed, and I want to be on top of the world and be like, I can crush this shit. I can do anything. So yeah, that's what we're working on right now. Getting to the point that we can do anything.
You're on your way. You're on your way up, girl. That eyebrow energy, that baby, the manifestations, all of the incredible things that you've brought together through this. And I just want to say thank you again so much for all of your beautiful words and for everything that you've had to say about the Abundant AF Babe Academy. I know that so many of the women who listen to this are really going to resonate with so much of what you've said. And yeah, just so, so proud of you. So
Oh,
thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming on and chatting with me about this.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, for having me and for just this crazy, crazy life in general. We have you have a lot to do with a lot of happenings in my life and Alex's life, and we are absolutely grateful for you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you for listening to today's episode. I'm so grateful to have these no bullshit talks with you. If you enjoyed today's episode or the podcast as a whole, please spread the love by leaving me a review on iTunes or sharing the podcast with others. This is how I will be able to spread more of these good vibes and be able to make more of an impact on the lives of others. And if you're not already part of all of the goodness and communities that I have to offer, check out the show notes. I have links to the different ways that I can support you on your manifestation journey and help you live a life full of more money, fulfillment, and freedom. But that is all for now. So big love and hugs, and I will chat with you soon, babe.